That's okay. So thank you to all of you to there. So this is a joint paper with colleague. This woman. She was my PhD student, and Christy was the second supervisor of one. And so we began to work together 8 years ago, more than 8 years ago. And we continue to work together for well, this paper is quite a long story. Because this paper is taking so many years to understand where we are from. So this is a very critical paper. Because this paper, in fact, was crossroad, between ideas from Christine, ideas from me, and then we had Wong. And Wong wanted to do at the Vietnamese Institute for Advanced in Mathematics. So, me, I had the idea to do something about climate change. When I was reading the literature about climate change, I was not very happy by seeing a common approach to all the papers I was reading. And the difficulty with that approach is that I wasn't able to trust them because they were not taking into account what object, but what mathematical object they treat. And thanks to Christine, my colleague from Toulouse, we find an idea how to treat it. But we need to invest in some mathematical tools in order to do that. And so this paper tries to summarize all that. So when you are working in climate change, you have a key ingredient. In all papers about climate change, the first thing the authors are doing is to evaluate the link between one outcome, say for example, and the weather. And so they want to estimate that. So here we have someone very famous if you want to work on climate change is that man, Simioni. Simioni has a chance to have a lot to have a big team. And one of my jobs when we read this paper was to find who is the recommendation in the list of the 1204 papers. And I found who is the recommendation. So you can move to the second. And so when you read this literature, so just mathematical fields, when you read this paper, so I'm working in doing research for estimating the family function in agriculture. So my object of interest is to estimate the relationship between crop yield, say, rice yield, Vietnam, so they have data about that, and then weather. And when you are studying that kind of relationship, what is important for the crop to grow is the temperature, but not the average temperature. Is the way temperature accumulates. Okay? And then is that the response of the crop to different levels of temperature will not be the same. And so you have two famous papers published in 2009 by two authors, Sinclair and Roberts. And they propose to estimate this one. So maybe you are not used. This is a regression model. But so you have compute. You have the density of temperature. And you have the response. And you see that you take into account that this response can be different when considering different range, the range of temperature. So you have a minimum temperature, maximum temperature, and the response here will be different, depending on the level of temperature. This is is a strange object. You are not used. I think that you had the lecture in econometrics. Maybe some of you by phone. I do not recognize some of you, so not like me. But you're not used with that. You are used with a linear model. If you are like a local data, with ZF and so on. And what is quite unique, that I presented this paper in a conference. So my colleague, Christine, went to be retired, and we organized into the conference in his honor, and I presented that paper. And someone said to me that the first the idea to write the regression model that way was Fisher in 1924, 1 century ago. In a paper published in this journal, you can find this paper, and he called that the regression integral. So I hope you have some knowledge in mathematics. Well, you have an integral. What you know is if you want to compute the integral, you can take an approximation. So you can say, for example, that the temperature will be 1 degree to 40 degrees. And for each degree, you can take an approximation of that by taking the probability of that. That is the quantitative between the value u and the value u plus 1. And then here, you have a response depending on the value of u. But here, you have now, as you are taking 1 degree, 1 Celsius degree B, you have here as many parameters here. You have chosen the corresponding to the number of B. But what is this? This is the number of temperature smaller than U. This is the number of temperature smaller than U. And when you have that, what is this? It's simply the histogram. You are counting the number of days falling in the interval. So here you can choose degree, by degree, you can choose what you want. But you are only counting. And so this gives rise to a huge literature. They work out in this literature. And you have a very good paper by Carter and Nguyen, where they are using histogram of temperature. And so I began to work on that in a big project about transition in Vietnam. And at the beginning, they asked me to give some insight about the literature. So I read the literature. When I saw that, I was not so pleased. Because what people are doing is that you have a number of bits, say 10 bits. So you know that the number of days in the 10 bits are 360. So if you want to estimate that, and you put it up, there is a problem of multicollinearity. So they drop 1 bit, and they say the temperature, the impact of the temperature, say drop the first one, the impact of temperature in the second bit will correspond to add 1 day in this bit with respect to the bit you choose as the reference. You can do that. But me, I was not satisfied. And this is what motivates this paper. I was trying to find an approach where I can tell a story about climate change without doing that. And you can move to the next slide, please. And so we have to find a strategy. And if you read the paper by this woman, the Kenyan woman living in the US, and Solomon Sian, they were the two first to say that when you have a histogram is not in what you are used to. You are used to when you are doing statistics, when you are doing mathematics, you are most of the time used to think in math. You know, how with a given dimension, with pure numbers. But here we are working with variables that are constrained. That is, if I take the different bill and I sum the value in the bill, this is 360. smaller space because we have one constraint on that. And this space is called a sample. So, with my colleague Christine, we worked on what is called compositional data. So, the idea was to use compositional data instead of using, but it's taking a different view of the histogram than the view people are taking the histogram. And why using the histogram when we can use continuous search? So the difficult part of what we have done is that this when you use different. So you can move like this. And so we will in this paper we will use the discrete approach where we will consider the histogram as a composition. So remind that is an object such that the sum of the different elements of this object is equal to 1. And we will compare that with an approach taking the density as the exploratory variable, where we have an object so that the interval is equal to 1. We will address this issue unfortunately by using pyramid. And this is where we have problems. And I presented this paper in front of
mấy bữa nay làm những gì làm
in
kia muốn dỗ đó dỗ cái đường đi mà kẹt rồi đâu
in the audience, a specialist of climatic objectives was there. And he said to me, you must use US. So I tried to convince my course to use. And it was difficult for me, but we have to use it. And so, and you will see that using that tool, we can build a climate change scenario and evaluate the impact. So for this moment, this part, I'm not so satisfied with. So maybe now I will go quite quickly. So compositional data, the discrete case. What is the histogram? Capital D means such that when you take the sum of all the components of this vector, the sum is equal to 1. So this is the same case. Good example. I began to work on that with a PhD student and Christine, dealing with the French car market. And the data were simply the share of each brand of car in a given segment. Okay. Then we generalize that for studying nutritional data. So, what is important to know is that when you have compositional data, you cannot use traditional tools in the community. Because the sample, you are not in R. You are in the sample. You have to take into account this constraint, but the sum of the elements of the vector is equal. And so, you have people in the literature, Hutchinson, who propose to build the mathematics of this space. And he didn't create continue. The idea is very simple, is that you are in the same place. Which link you can build with R? If you are able to have a link with R, you will do the statistic approach and the economic approach in R, and then you will come back to the space. And so the idea is very simple, is to define transformation of your data. And to find the good transformation in order to go from simplex, like S, to R, and then to come back. And so you can move to the other side. And so these are the mathematics. But here you can forget most of the things. But what is important when you are working on that kind of data? Maybe when you were a student in econometrics, you had a teacher saying to you that when you have a example, you want to explain between 0 and 1, or 0 and 100%. You are taking the log. Remember the log of the share divided by 1 minus the share. What do you see here? The share x1 for the first component of the compositional divided by this function. What is this function? This function is simply the geometric average of the share. And what is important when you are working with density with histogram is that when you are moving something in the histogram, the move is relative. You are not moving with respect only to one thing. And you will see that when you consider climate change, you are moving the distribution. So it's not simply the fact of putting one more observation in one beam. It's that you have a global move and you have to take what. And so there is a mathematics with inner product, maybe you are not using. But you know, when you are in R, when you have your vector of parameter beta, when you have your vector of external variable, what your teacher is writing as x prime times beta is simply scalar product between the vector of x and the vector beta. So no more complicated. You can move to the okay. Then this has been generalized to density. And to density, this is called the base space. So you see that we have function now, positive function, square integrable function. But now the constraint, the sum is becoming the integral. And so they developed mathematics. So I will not spend my time on that. You can read the paper, take some hints of theory. You can move to the other stage. And me, I need a lot. And they did the same. This literature is the literature 2020, 2021. Very interesting. And so they developed the same idea to find a way to go from a space where they define the given mathematics to a space where we can do what we want, because this is the space of square integrable function on the interval AB, but sum to 0. Why they sum to 0? Remember that we go from this discrete case, we go from the same place to R to the power b minus 1. So the constraint sum is equal to 1. From the constraint is one dimension. Okay. So we can do. And then this is how to do things. We have to estimate function. And maybe you are not used with that, but a natural tool to estimate function is to take approximation. And a very natural tool when you have to take approximation of is what is called splines. Splines are a set of functions. If you want me to define, for example, what is a cubic spline, the cubic spline is the sum of a given number of parameters with a time of the spline. The first spline will be 1, constant. The second will be x. The third will be x to the square. And then you have to define your different points, named knots, where you are taking x minus naught to the power 3, because we are working with time. Define on a given interval. So you have to imagine that we are taking the sum of functions on given interval with x defining where we are taking that. And what is important, thanks to the mathematics developed by Michel and Thanh, is that we can go from this space where we do not know what to that space where we know that this function belongs to that space. In this space, we can define a spline representation. We will have special spline in that space. And so we can come back to that. Okay? This is quite complicated. You can recognize that because we are using what's looking at that kind of tool, there is a very old book. The cover, me, I always remember the color of the cover of my book when I'm reading the book. It's blue. So I had to find the blue book. But this is very well explained. So these are technical. This. And so this is what is a spline. So forget that. This is a spline in the space where you know where we are. So the spline is a function. And then when you have a value here, you will take, you will take the value of the function, this function, and you will sum, and then you have parameters. So what you need is to know this parameter. But you have the sum of unknown parameter times things you know. And you put that in a regression model instead of the function. So when you have that, this is the parameter model. You have only to estimate. Okay. But this parameter will be different. Okay. You can move. So this is a way to do that. You must, when you are doing that, you must put a penalty. So this is what I explained to you. But I have spline, I have parameter to estimate. So I will find this parameter by minimizing a usual linear regression criterion. But you have to penalize because this estimator can move a lot. So you have to put a penalty, on the you can move to how many minutes you can move to, right? So thanks to my colleague work, you have here an example of what we have done. So you have here what will be our data in the discrete case. So we have to imagine that for this province, for each day during how many years, we have daily observation for minimum temperature, maximum temperature. Here we did maximum temperature in that year. And you have the discrete version of the density and the continuous version, continuous estimator of the density. So this is simply by counting. This is by estimating the model. Okay. So these are our explanatory. I'm right. So the data. So we want to explain here by temperature. Okay. So here is a figure about the evolving of yield over 30 years in the 63 provinces in Vietnam. We do not use individual data, we use data defined by two. And you see that there is a beautiful trend. So the ice yield improved from 1987 up to 2006. So we want to have a model linking yield to temperature. We will add the control variable to take into account that we have trained this data. We will add the trend to our data. Okay. So then we realize that when you are looking to yield by economic relation, you have difference among the economic relation in Vietnam. So we will take into account that by estimating the relationship between temperature and yield, by taking into account that we have a province in that region or not. Okay. So we take into account that. It's very small. This is a test, And so these are the data sources with respect to the weather data. So coming from different most difficult part was to be able, because you know you have a grid for Vietnam, and then you have to aggregate that at the province level. So this was done, I do not remember if you did that or by my over here, did that. But we use a kind of approach to smooth that data and then to have data for each province by taking points in the province. This was and so here you have an idea about the distribution. So you have the maximum temperature program, administration. So it was different. So this way is the difficult issue is that you have this minimum temperature, this maximum temperature or maximum temperature. And you see that sometimes we don't have that of the provinces because they are located in the south. And so we will have to treat the problem that we have seen zero in our data. And we did that by putting a small value in each bin here for provinces where we have no observation. So thanks to Nguyen, this is the kind of object we treat with treatments. Okay. And now Nguyen is working on a very interesting project to try to find the relationship and how this estimated density has moved during time. This is what you are with. Okay, you can move. So now I think this is an interesting part of the talk. So the model we want to estimate. So we have two different models, the discrete one and the continuous one. So you remember that I put an integral, and say for the histogram I will have a sum. So we will have for each compositional data. So G, the compositional data. So imagine that we have maximum temperature. We will assess the impact of maximum temperature by a given vector theta. And we will have minimum temperature also. So we will have a second compositional data. For each, we will have the histogram, the X, and this is simply the scalar product in the Archimede scalar product that is here in the sentence. And so we have this scalar product between a vector and a vector. Okay. We will add some control variable, scalar variable, and we want to explain. We will do the same for the continuous domain. But now the difference is that here, instead of having discrete vector, we have function. And here, we have a vector. We keep here the same control variable. And so we will estimate this model. What is important is that thanks to the mathematics developed by people treating the discrete, we can go from this scalar product. I think I put that to the next slide. We can go from this scalar product to this scalar product. That is, we will use a transformation. You know, we go from base space, where the density is defined, to a space where we can approximate our function by spline. So here we will have an estimate of this using spline. Here we have an estimate of this in spline. This is a known value, data, so we can estimate all the parameters. This will be an unknown function of spline that are known with unknown parameters. So our problem which look to be very complicated. What is complicated is to code. So one is an impressive job. But what is that we are going from a problem that seems to be untreatable to a problem we can treat And so we put as scalar variable time, precipitation, variation of the means. And after testing the inclusion of interaction between density, not and maximum minimum temperature, and the 6 regional degrees, we decide to integrate the relationship interaction. So it's only for Red River and no friends sample and so we can move to. So these are the results for the parametric part of the model. We are very pleased because and no impact of precipitation. But this model now is, a model to make this way. If we want to go deeper in this model, we need to put more effort. But the interest was to be able to do something, compare. This is what we have done on the other side. Compare the result of this model. So here you have, the square of errors, the distribution of the square of errors for the different regions in our regression model, for the smooth model and the discrete model. And you see that the quality of fit is really better when you are using the model. This is what we were expecting. Because the discrete model is an approximation. And so when you are using an approximation, you are adding an error due to that. Okay. So we were expecting that. So you can move to the next slide, please. And this is the difficult part of the paper, interpretation. So here, what I want here is the transformation of the vector of parameter beta in the discrete model. Remember the beta G scalar model using one transformation named the CLR transformation. And we realized with Nguyen and Christine that it's not easy to interpret that. But what are we interested in? We are interested, when you have density, you are interested by rotation. So you are interested by the weight of each beam, in the beta vector. And what you are interested is to see that when you move that way, where are you moving that way? Because you are in the density. So you are taking into account relative change in the density. Okay. And here we realize that we are in fact quite over that. That is what is interesting is to see if you have a move like that and a move like that in adjacent beams, not in beams that are too far. And you see that when you look, for example, to delta, something is happening here. When you have temperature between 31, 33 and 32, 33. You have a big contrast here between them. So this is a place where something is happening for Red River delta. When you are looking to your first sample and you see that this is less obvious. That something is happening 30, 31, 31, 32. The same for overreaching. If you go to the impact of minimum temperature, so this is larger, but the range is smaller. You have less important impact. But we have to go deeper in the interpretation of that. Then, here, you have the same, but for the continuous mode. And what we realize, in fact, is that if when you are looking into that, you are able to interpret that, you are very good. Maybe one is more involved in that. But we put, so you have two different ways to represent. You have to represent region, you have the impact between 32 33, corresponding to what we have seen for the river data. And for the river over region and the NCC, you see that we have this impact, but we translate it, we move the impact to the left, and the size of this impact, we were surprised by that, and we have a lot of this. If we have to find a way, and maybe my colleague Christine and Wong, they are mathematicians, have a better idea of that than me. We have maybe to interpret that. But something is happening here, the maximum. Okay. We can move. And then, next. And then, I have time? When we move to how to use that kind of approach in order to evaluate the impact. So we have data up to 2016. And thanks to a paper written by a man in charge of climate scientists. We were able to get, for the RCP 2.6 scenario, so the most favorable scenario, but also for other scenarios, we were able to get an histogram of predicted temperature at the end of this century. Okay, so you see that when you are dealing with climate change, you are not dealing, with the change, marginal change in some field. You are dealing with a large change, a kind of move in the distribution here. Here the distribution moves that way. Here the distribution moves to higher temperature. Here the distribution are less. And so this is why I say we have to take into account relative things. Because we are interested by the relative things that are happening in each field, And so this was what we used then to simulate for the sake of infrastructure. And this is what we use to evaluate. Because for each province, we are able to compute this change, relative change. We have the initial density. And so the change will be, driven by this direction. And using the mathematics, we can compute that. And thanks to the transformation, going from the space, the simplex or the base space to a space we know, we can compute that. Okay. So we will compute to evaluate this, and to add this to this. Okay. And the results are, so is we use simply the model we estimated. We have estimates for max. So this. We have, say, for the smooth regression model, we know this value, so we can compute that. Okay. Thanks to the linearity of the model, this is only and for the linearity of the linear product. This is simply, we can know that. And so the results are on the next table here. For the discrete regression and for the smooth regression. We spend time trying to estimate the standardization. We have the linear regression model when we are in either R or E-1 in the space of continuous function that integrate before. So we did the plot here. So Christine and me, we brought them and then you see that when you are looking to the discrete regression, on average, the change is not. So this is what we get, and sometimes we have negative change, but not significant. Okay. This is the discrete mode. I have to tell you a story, but I work a lot with people on estimating on estimating the impact of climate change and the distribution of income using the histogram approach in the classical. So we try being with 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, and the results were very sensitive to the number of the and you see here that no impact. But when you have a look at regression, maybe you see that now we have very good value for some provinces. Why we have this big value? Because we realize that the move of temperature is, for some of the red river data, the move of temperature in the place where we identify very huge impact. So you will have more observation in that part. Time, a part of that parameter whose value is very. And so this is the reason why we are getting so huge value for red river data and for some high island and our observation. But in fact, this is the kind of result we can obtain. So don't ask me to give more interpretation of result, because this is, something we have done to compare with what, and to see what is happening when we are using it. Okay, and then I can. So we have compared the compositional approach of correlation of color, so IC on density objects. We apply that to the concrete case study of the impact of climate change for IC production in Vietnam. So as you have seen, we have a type of integrated framework where, and we say, we know that we don't know because the mathematics are what we know. And this is important, and because I do not think that most papers dealing with the estimation of damage function, I think they do not know what they are. And I have to say to you that I participated to a project in Michel, Vietnam, and I read the paper and by people every time. Thanks for them, I was not so ready. Okay. So you can criticize what we have done because we treat, rice production as if the growing season was 1 year. And you know that in Vietnam, you have 2 and sometimes 3 different growing seasons. We can do more complicated things. Okay. To have a better model. That this will add to okay. So the modeling will be interesting to put some interaction between minimum and maximum. This can be done. We can go further in the comparison, but in index comparison, controlling what we are doing. We must use some non-mechanism. Okay. We can investigate the city. We have looked question that represented the most favorable person. Because sometimes the figure we obtain for less favorable person were we can go to the last slide and the surveillance. So there was the concept. Okay. And we did that job Yeah. So we spent the time, a lot of time in December 20 to work on that issue. But where I'm very pleased in this collaboration is that you have to put mathematicians and you have to put economists. So the meaning of that is that me, I'm used to work with people. I was very pleased to have one that good mathematician. And can be also a good econometrician because okay. So I was okay. Yeah. We are doing that because the model at the end, yes, it's linked to partial linear because we are taking an approximation. But to define what is new is the way we define the non-bounded. And it's not so usual because we are not using, a traditional way, but it's a simple line taking this line. But we use the right line with respect to the object we are doing. This is what it is. But you're right, it's linked to partial linear. Maybe you are thinking about it. But here the important part was to use the right estimator for the. This is the reason we went to achieve some originated by touch. Yeah. But maybe I understand very well. I understand very well. And you know me, I'm not to report into the application of what I'm doing. But here, the point is that me, I have difficulty in trust in result. I'm not, no, I criticize the small paper. Yes, but the smaller paper are paper when you have a team thinking about what you are doing. And what I can say to you is when you are in a policy oriented, when you have a look at paper, you must have someone reading the technical opinion. And you will have big look. Because you will see in the paper, me, I can quote one paper of Young. I'm a specialist now. Appendix. I can say to you that in this paper, they say we took a lot of students estimating the impact of weather, say, on ice here. And we did a Bayesian meta-analysis. Wow, beautiful. You know, you have estimates from different paper, different people, period, you control for that. Then you have the impact. You put that in a macro model to be able to do simulation of the impact of weather. You are very happy. But when you're interested in agriculture, where you're interested in over? No, they have only one. And when you read the study, you're surprised because of the limitation of the weather is so important. But when then you, me, I'm ready to trust in the result, but it's a very large conflict. You understand me? But you know, Solomon Young has a chance to publish in very good form.
I had one small something about the policy indication. So and you see that in the beginning, you see the damage function. So that's accumulate. It's very good that you can this paper can project to 2,000 countries, right? Then you see the damage. Then that's the kind of put cost of damage. So if you see that in region with more damage, it's better to invest not just invest everywhere in the whole country because we have limited resources. So we know exactly the region in which
we have another paper.
simple
We have another paper. You see, with respect to demand, the definition of this paper are, you know, very, you know, demand is very interesting because you have a lot of contrast. And if you want to, what I can say about the policy application of the paper is to develop rice production in one day. Because you know why? Because what is missing to my model is that I have only a model of the dimension. But I must have a link that model of the land.
So that's why I think this is
Yeah,
not part of the yes, last week. So my paper is very so we move from the Galician agriculture, small part of fishery, small part of agriculture. Yeah, Vietnam is 1% agriculture. And also qualitative fine. But the story here is that actually I have been working in Fisheries for 20 years, and then I experienced, especially, we have been interested in terms of transitional growth. So it's transformation from central planning market, socialist market economy. So what I observed and myself that we have seen a lot of natural resource damage. We can feel that. If you look at the fresh water, probably is now difficult. 20 years ago, you right view a lot of fish, and many other things. So I'm just looking this house, and then we can go to the next. You see, next. So this standard structure. So why fishery? As you know, that's very potential in Vietnam. We have 3,200 kilometers coastal lines, and then we have a 1 million meter square. That's the public development, not just fishery, but you also have a transportation, you have very potential. It's not the fishery, also very important. He said that export turnover 11 billion US dollars in the first large seafood export in this top in terms of fishery in the world. And then you know that this is a production. It's almost over 9 million tons. So marine fishery account for 34%. In the past, it's higher. Now, proposal one of the reasons overexploitation and seafood very high. So it's fascinating. And then it's also in terms of labor, it's 4.5 million. That's really for fishery. However, we have experience the coastal area overfishing. And then fishing and possibly new knowledge. What it means. Imagine that the fish stock is a renewable resource. Whatever is special. It's like to put, let's say 1 billion in the bank, then every year you have 10% interest rate at 100 billion, then that's maximum. Because you spend more than 100 million a year, so you're all using your stock. Then probably certain year periods will disappear because you spend money there. And then if you spend exactly equal that level or lower, you keep the stock. Whatever. Sustainable. So that's the example. Maximum sustainability. And then there is the literature. Actually, I looked at the literature and then which they say that's with the introduction of the government policy. Now I know better than this in 1986, right? And then if you want to change because of almost collapse, then this transformation has been is slow and incomplete. Due to still have a policy of central planning. The way we are thinking, still rather than just market the policy. And then this paper estimates that policy is powerful based on the set of the capital misapplication. What it means, because if you intervene, some sector that will not sector, market can solve the allocation. You have policy that the misallocation, like, and then linked to the total factor productivity gap of 110%. But it's about the market ways location. We can double almost that. But because we benefit so the total factor. And then also you see that during this process, environmental issues in agriculture production, mining and vegetation have become personal many other researchers. So, another thing is that climate change. So that's the you see why probably the reason why I have this idea here. That's the link to the production environment out of control, which means that something that has set down. You see that the temperature increase of 0.1 has about twice with global warming. And temperature and rainfall linked to the energy. This is linked to the emerging changing the distribution of the ocean and also the effect of production. So this paper, we want to see how productivity technology and Vietnam marine history, when you come from the 10 social economy, and then we closely look at higher efficiency and so actually this is one of the few empirical studies of marine history, almost all the cases. Then we also take advantage of here in this case research, thinking about this operative approach. So we have been looking for the last 5 years in this approach. It's not easy, but it's done now. I think that's better than answer to yourself. And I can so this so I can divide policy intervention, resist process in the 1976 up to now in 4 periods. So the first period actually that is central plan, then this go up small. So I can you see big. So that is one to this detail in the paper. You see before the policy, that's the plan economy, and then listen, I can see the year. Okay. See that's up to here is active measures, something like so we try to develop the framework that can apply improve the give up to divide different out and now monitoring. That's the monitoring. And the last year we see that a lot of vessels from Russia, China, that's a big one. That's the geo vessel. We saw type compared. That's all of that technology, fishing technology, and there's using from Soviet. The second period, so the government after after this open door policy, tried to develop a 10-year plan, planning reduction. Then we have an offshore fishing program. Actually, they wanted to subsidize fishermen to build a bigger vessel to fishing in part of the salt. And one of they want to protect these that with the small people fishing the area. But this is the two that is with
something that I will talk later. You cannot combine political and economics because if I'm businessman, you know, the PC is most important. Not politics. I don't care much about when big business because it is different. But same for fishermen. It's a fish. Their fishing boat cannot catch the fish. They cannot operate unless you pay everything, right? So that's the business by operate. So that's a paper we'll talk later. But then after this, you can see that here is the output. And here is labor, and this is the capacity. That's the horsepower in terms of horsepower. So it increased significantly. Labor is right, but you know, the cash is increased not much. You see, in this period, almost so the same. But that's control the government. Control this actually is good for the fish. Then when you have an open door policy and you want less like fishing open access, you want to subsidize and do everything. But that's why there's a fishing effort. More fishing boats have been built. And then more people go to the fisheries, and then you see the output is not increased. So that's the qualitative without more you can see that. So output. Yeah, not as I said, it's zero. It's down. No, we were talking about it. Just the data. First, the quality without any more. Data. I look at the data. First, see, this is the output, and this is two input. See that you know, output and different label. So divide this file, we have a label. This is we have a complicated so that we have more inputs, not just one, not just label. But then we'll talk about it more. Simple. So we have applied this system model, very simple. So that is the framework developed by Opera. So these are professional. And we are doing this very smart. The practice in the composition. So we have the total particle productivity in I in the T is defined as gate. Let's say if you have not just one species, but many species, the aggregate is defined by the aggregate. Divide aggregate into not just the level of part of that. One you have this, if you have many people, many outputs you also. So the story of the aggregate constantly we have a lazy process of divide into the technical chain and the chain component. So there are two actually easy. There are two ways, right? So let's say you have many firms. This is the frontier, right? The first one. So you have some firms, the best performance, right? You have many firms. That is the best performance for the things that inefficiency, right? Because there is a distance here, right? There's a one to here. So one is the best. And then you have something because scalability. The way we combine the best is the best combination to have a power. And then you have something environment, something that's out of control. Right? This will make the same really for you have to accept it, right? So if the reason you have a better condition, probably you have a problem, right? Something like that, right? So that's a big basically the problem. But if you have just one history, is frontier, also environmental communities here. So that's the consists all of these fields corresponding to the term. The transition between the area and the quantity. Then you have the environment. Then you have this is containing like input. Then I would say here. So yeah, this. Then if we can estimate that function from the data, we can decode different parts. So we have this is technology progress, basically from the trend, time trend over time. That is moving for every year. You have a better technology, then you can have a higher productive over time. Time trend to calculate that. Then you have this is environmental. This part actually from the environmental. Then we have scale, which is easy to actually relate. Then we have this is a table efficiency. If we have a management, so we have this different feedback. If you look at the application, it's always one. That's the different part. This is the data. We have the data on the market. 1976 up to. It's surprising that we have the same period. I think it's 40 years, right? Environmental variable, including it's not the only thing. Of course, the effective model and Michel then we have this before it's independent effective output. This is maintenance, then it's a variation. And then very simple estimation. So you see that this is labor. Then you have capacity here, and then you have a function. You can see that increase in labor and capacity and output. Labor more output. Not much. Then we have the lifetime case of the rate of technical progress. So 1.5. We have to do calculation every year. So the technology is 1.5 from so and then we can using the framework we can calculate all the time. Technology, so we see that technological progress in the main kind of here. If you decompose this part, increase the total factor. Outputs environmental effects. Rainfall, but it's not much. But the most important thing is that staying integrated to the 37 CFP growth of this period. So it's consistent with the other 80 is 1%. This application to linear because of intervention, right? It maintains the scale with efficiency. So see that's so here if you look at over time, so technical progress or the other Discrete. That's all the technologies and then now I see so the maximum amount of money that you can spend that at the same time keeping your stock, right? The MS1 that I said. Let's say we put 1 billion in the budget, and every year we spend maximum is 100 million, let's say 10% billion, right? That's the period that we have That's about. Then you see it's in decrease. So it means that the interest rates that we take from the bank is smaller and smaller. Because if we spend in our stock in the 1 billion we put in the bank, understand? So this appears as a golden period for the fishery. Actually, central planning, then we see. Yes, overfishing all the time. Interesting. It's central planning, of course, that's the bad thing, but it's good for fishing. So then, when you have a market, the open assessment, every dollar assessment must be possible without control. Then this is the concept, negative externality. But you they want to test more. So this less fish on the other increases the cost of fishing, right? Yes, but the maximum, that's the same maximum sustainable yield. So let's say, as I have one example, you have a 1 million in the bank, and the interest rate here, and here interest of 100 million. That's a maximum amount of money that you can spend. Same for fish. Every year they big production process. They produce more certain amount of fish. If you get more than that, it means that you test and that's all. That doesn't go. Maximum amount of money that you can spend. If you want to keep 1 billion forever in the bank, very simple. It's exactly the same. Then that's the main one. So they have a MEY to the economics, they have another wrapping point. So there's a bias for that. So, but it's a new way, that's the traditional biochemistry on the those things are protected. And our position got to do this. Look at it in a different way. Okay, with the data. Yeah, so that's the next slide. Yeah. Look at it step by step. That's my, you see, that's the idea. So now we put this together. Because it's a local failure in this central plan. Right? So you have it's a misallocation resources, right? Because we put too much in the less, because the increase of market rate. So you need intervention. You cannot let the market. So that's a market rate. You have to right? So in fact, if one more fish, less fish for the increase the cost of fish, right? That's the effect. Like similar to pollution, right? Let's say you did driving on motorbike, it's emission discharge. The effects are without compensation, right? Unintended without compensation, right? But here's the same fish. I catch a fish less fish the ocean for the other, right? Without compensation for, let's say, if we have a fishing price, so it's better. So that's my case. I only cut my part, not cut the other. But we don't have it here. We have open set. That's the problem. We put together, it's gradually subsidized. So they have a subsidize. Like they have a total cost. When you subsidize, decrease the cost of fishing, because the fishermen will receive money, reduce the cost, and more people will join fishing. That's the problem. It's more reduce the stock that we have. That's the miss policy. That's people working in the fishery don't know exactly what they want to. They think that is the point for decision. They want to see the good for the fishermen. That's what it's top reference. It's all the here, I try to use different. So you look at pillars, so it's the same results here. You see, offshore fishing program to reduce the negative. So you subsidize increase fishing efforts, so less fish for people, and also you can see here also first period that corresponding qualitative model. But of course, only for you have a longer period. That's when you have the current data, it's more regional of the better. That's why people more. Then I think, but you see that no matter what I add more variable, so the result is not changing the same. I mean that the robot is more right. Has to check the more. So conclusion, the rate of physical progress is about 1.5% here. So it's a compare. Because average, we said I have another paper. We look at the technical progress, it's 3.6. It means that's half. So it's on the fisheries, it's not good as the other sector. You see in terms of like in technology, like so technical technological progress that is the main driver, growth, environmental effects, decrease. This is most important. Mismanagement means that you actually you need to integrate because that's a market failure. You didn't, right? Unless it's open for everybody. It's opposite compared to the capital, right? Capital is not but you integrate. So that's misallocation of capital. Fisheries is the other way. The market failure, you haven't done good enough. Second effects, isn't it? It means that you put something more and not combination of different inputs. Like ways you it can relate to the flexibility of the yeah, maybe the other time. Yeah, of course, there's many other factors, but that consider that you are not in the way that you choose the optimal combination. Yes, so it's linked to the miss and I actually the best first year, and then you change the best subsidize input another, and then also the openness. Thousand of nine, the cost of by city is lower than the cost of everything. I visited Myanmar from the west by whole city. How the fish can survive. Oh. That's actually I don't know what because I can live with and I saw the normal fight. That's why I'm questioning. So that's here. You see that is stage. You know, change. So it could be here if you take into account of environmental factors. Probably different. But it's still in this series, right? There's a hybrid. The good combination of input. That's the golden period for history. I think positive not still many other factors. So you know that recently they have the yellow class from the European Union for exporting fish. That's why they need to. So first years, they subsidize, and then they see that they know, they recognize the overfishing, and then they develop a framework so that they reduce the subsidy, and then they more sustainable. So that's why it's better, and especially for last 2 or 3 years, or 5 years, if they not zero cost. I mean, illegal fishing under control country. Europe. So if you have a red, you cannot export people. European Union. So it's very bad for fishing. So that's why now they have to do some because probably that's that reduce the subsidy for fishing. I think that reduce. So we have the total revenue is the balance sheet. The total cost is the so when you reduce subsidize, so the fishing cost increase, it means that the number of people trying to fish. Yeah. No one has done this, but I would have to develop a model based on the fishery. It's very simple. They have a tax per unit effort. Actually, just divide saving the labor productivity one time, divide our fishing cost, the number of people fishing. So they have a tax per unit, reduce it into take into account other input. Of course, it's some specific percentage can do that. But I think we discussed about this between the labor productivity of the factor. Of course, yeah, depend on this index, but it's still, you know, we need to do better than labor productivity. To say efficient, we need to develop something better than the gap. So probably Michel is ready to work on this in fishery. Applicants. So that's 41. So I don't trust very much of it, but of course, this is but linked to the if we have a better data, that's the best thing. Yes, that's a question that we don't have a data up 1970. If we have a 28 provinces cost of living, then if we have let's say 20 years, have more than problem is thanks for Michel for methodology. If you have any question regarding methodology, he explained to me many times. So up to now, I will read the one, you know, if you read the original paper, because whole, you know, all the formula. The code to understand the legal position. One step was this. Let's explain well. So this is a special literature. There is not a lot of people. So actually, maybe we have to use monkeys. So the difference which is this index, monkeys is only complex. Yes, so that's not too firm. You cannot compare over time. So this value is done. What is called the transitive. So you compare over time and many firms. That's also a big problem. If you want to make the share from 0 to
say period 2, period 1. When you are using matrix index, you cannot get the total index as something linked to index. This is a big limitation. And here the idea is to have transderivatives. You can have over the period, and you can get the total index by knowing all the index. This is what is
Actually, when I attended the definitive workshop, although he loved it, he told them when somebody did that, all framework. But you know, many people still apply.
but you know, there is a big, this is the literature when there's a big,
Some people still prefer that. That's the one
the issue, but the issue of that's what we know is this is something we must do for policy oriented decision in Vietnam. You see how the different faculties are allocated in the different sectors in Vietnam. Really, a very important issue. You have good papers. You have a paper published in the Transitional economic. You have the quote in that paper. So
actually.
they depend for the food processing industry in France, but I have no chance because something happened. Some regulations changed my sample, so my result was not able to get. This is very easy. So if
I think the best thing I have learned from Michel is don't just and you have to read differently. Even the paper, you know, the public in nature, some problem. Not just two things. You want to have a good product to spend time here. So yeah, I think this is that's a good paper. 2 or 3. If you see somebody publish and 10, 20, so I'm just or 50, somebody say public. So every year on average, paper now 2 or 3 being published every year. So first, that you read different framework, don't just you have to pick way that's my final. You don't make that somebody is what to do. So probably this is wrong, something right today, wrong tomorrow. Just slowly. The same like medicine 1 and 2 steps in stochastic. Project, many people still do this wrong thing. Right? They estimate the thing for inefficiency in the first step. Then they use that to estimate the that's wrong. Because if there are some estimate of inefficiency, not the first step. Right? Otherwise, the bias in estimation. We discussed a lot about it. But some people is important. Yeah, So this we know about I don't know how the current person is what you know under the
Almost the country came from subsidy.
That's the bad thing for the. So it's good for the things that you have.
I think we get that, yes. So that's it's the understand now because it is just started for so that's more but to get the data to put in to see that this is impact. So I have to know.
I hope some of them research here. For now, I'm looking nicer. So I'm looking at data. Actually, in my PhD, I was a data university in the Baltic. And you have stations.
No, we actually data from Harvard and
Yes,
yes,
so it's better. Actually, I do some things. This is simple because that's the best thing that you can. From here, but the sheet is still the SD set. Which is why you have a big US data. So that's actually in terms of subsidies, we have a good and best. Actually, in agriculture sector in Europe, in countries they support a lot. But they call it environmental. They support because of environment. That's a good subsidy. It's not like that you subsidy for fuel. But here you reduce the cost, and then more people fish. The total cost of fishery lower. No, the best subsidy. So we have now. They need to change as a good subsidy. Let's say you just use the environmental friendly fishing here. You can receive something. If you have a trawler destroy everything. If you stop that, I will subsidize for selective fishing here. So that's a good. The difference between good and bad.